I want to invite you to explore something with me today, something we all experience. It's incredibly powerful, but it is just profoundly misunderstood. We're talking about anger. Seriously, think about it. If you're like most people, the absolute second someone insults you or ignores you or pokes at an old emotional wound, your self-awareness just completely vanishes, right? The emotion grabs the steering wheel and takes over. But today, we are going to learn how to change that. We're going to dive into what's called the alchemical shift. It's this highly effective way to transform emotional fire into pure awareness without getting burned in the process. Okay, let's dive right into this. Most of us have basically been trained to deal with being mad in only two ways. We either bury it silently, slapping on a smile and pretending everything is perfectly fine, or we explode. We lash out, say things we regret, and damage our relationships. Society kind of tells us, hey, pick one. But what if both of these universally accepted approaches are just completely wrong? What if anger was actually never meant to be suppressed, but it also wasn't meant to be blindly unleashed on the world? See, here's what happens. When we lose our awareness, our nervous systems instantly drop straight into survival mode. We react. We either suppress the anger, forcing this fake external calm while the internal pressure just violently builds up inside us, or we vent it, which leads straight into blind expression and emotional chaos. And let me tell you, both paths take a severe, exhausting toll on us. You could have two people feeling the exact same anger. One destroys their relationship by venting, and the other just silently suffers by suppressing it. The missing ingredient in both of those scenarios? Awareness. Let's look at suppression first. A lot of people mistakenly believe that emotional maturity means just never getting angry. But here's the thing. Suppressed anger doesn't just evaporate into thin air. No way. It transforms. It turns into anxiety, bitterness, passive aggression, emotional numbness, and even depression. It's literally like trying to trap a roaring fire inside a tightly sealed container. It doesn't put the fire out. It just means that eventually it's going to burn everything from within. Because here is the undeniable psychological truth. Your body always remembers the emotions that your mind refuses to process. Now, what's really interesting here is the exact opposite extreme. You've definitely heard people say, just let it out, or you gotta vent. But actually, blindly expressing your anger strengthens it. Every single time you react on autopilot and shout or lash out, you're training your brain into deeper unconscious patterns. It literally becomes easier to fly off the handle the next time. Sure, venting creates this false, almost addictive feeling of power right in the heat of the moment. But let's be honest, it usually leaves you feeling drained, empty, and just completely disconnected afterward. So, if burying it is entirely toxic and blind expression is wildly destructive, what on earth is the alternative? Well, observe it. That's the paradigm shift right there. This is the hidden third path. I want you to really think about this for a second. The next time you feel that sudden, massive surge of rage, you don't push it down and you don't spit it out. You just observe it. This brings us to this amazing concept known as inner alchemy. Now, ancient alchemists tried to turn heavy metals into gold, right? Well, true inner alchemy is transforming unconscious emotions into awareness. I know, it sounds a little mystical at first, but it is actually a highly practical, grounding psychological concept. See, anger isn't an inherently evil force. It's just raw, incredibly powerful energy. And when you learn to harness it rather than run away from it, it provides a massive opportunity for your own personal growth. So, how do we actually do this? To really observe anger, you have to get out of the story playing in your head and step directly into your physical body. When the anger bubbles up, notice exactly where it hits you. Is it in the chest, the stomach, your throat? Are you clenching your jaw? Feel the heat. Notice the tension and the sheer intensity directly inside your body. The trick, and this is the hard part, is doing this without acting on it and without speaking impulsively. Just feel it happening. The very moment your awareness actually enters the emotion, this incredible separation happens, and it leads to a profound realization. You realize, there is anger inside me, but anger is not who I am. This is the crucial moment of separation, guys. It changes absolutely everything, because for the very first time, you stop being possessed by the emotion. You are no longer the anger. You've stepped back and you've become the observer of it. And this is where the mechanics become absolutely fascinating. If you just watch the anger silently, without resisting it or judging yourself for it, the energy begins to change all on its own. At first, yeah, it might feel incredibly intense, maybe even unbearable. But if you just remain present, the emotion slowly dissolves. Which begs a really interesting question. Why does watching anger make it dissolve? Why does pure observation work so well to starve that emotional fire? The answer is fuel. Plain and simple. Emotions survive because we unconsciously feed them. We replay the story of what happened over and over in our heads. We rehearse arguments we want to have in the shower. We imagine revenge, and we mentally justify our reactions to ourselves. All of this mental chatter keeps the emotional energy alive and burning red hot. But pure, silent observation? That removes the fuel. When you stop handing the fire these thoughts to burn, it simply cannot sustain itself. So the crucial point is, when you starve that fire and the intense anger slowly starts to fade away, you finally uncover what was hiding beneath it the whole time. Underneath the anger, you almost always discover deep pain, fear, insecurity, feelings of rejection, or just profound sadness. Lots of times, anger is just a harsh, spiky shield. It's simply acting as protection for a wounded, deeply vulnerable part of ourselves. Because awareness reveals what unconscious reaction hides, we get to the absolute core of this whole concept. Emotional observation is so remarkably powerful because it allows you to literally transform your suffering into self-knowledge. You stop being a helpless victim of your own sudden reactions, and you actually start uncovering the deep, vulnerable truths about what you really need to heal. All right, the 5-step method, real-life application for the alchemical shift. It's one thing to understand all this philosophically, but let's pivot to grounding this shift with a concrete, actionable process. We need a real game plan for the very next time life triggers you. So here are the 5 exact steps. Step 1, pause immediately. Literally, do not react instantly. Even just a 10-second pause prevents enormous damage. Step 2, feel the emotion physically. Shift your attention totally away from the story in your head and down into your bodily sensations. Step 3, breathe slowly. Deep breathing interrupts those automatic panic patterns and signals your nervous system that you are safe. Step 4, watch without judgment. Like a scientist studying a chemical reaction, don't call yourself weak, don't suppress it, just watch. And finally, step 5, let the energy pass naturally. Every emotion rises, peaks, and fades. If you stop feeding it, it loses power surprisingly fast. As we move toward the end of our explainer today, I really want to leave you with a profound reframing. Listen to this. Your anger is not your enemy. It's really not. It is untransformed energy, it is a doorway, it is a blinking signal pointing directly toward unconscious pain and unhealed wounds. Now, most people are going to spend their entire lives either burying their anger or becoming absolute slaves to it. But you now have the tools to do something completely different. You can watch it, you can learn from it, and you can transform it. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're aiming for. Ultimately, the fire that once controlled you becomes light. Every single time you choose observation over an automatic reaction, you reclaim power over your own inner world. You strengthen your consciousness. You take something that could have literally burned your life down, and you use it to illuminate your own mind instead. That, my friends, is the true alchemical shift. I want to leave you with one final provocative thought today. Have you ever actually observed your anger instead of just reacting to it? I invite you to really reflect on your own habits. Think about the last time you were truly blindingly furious. What would have happened if you had just sat back and watched it like a scientist? Let that question sit with you today. Take this knowledge, protect your mind, and start reprogramming your reality.
Please like, share, comment, and subscribe this channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.